The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
I'm attorney Justin Clark. Coming up just ahead on Your Real Estate, you want to spend money on your house and upgrade it. Makes sense. Where should you invest that money? Also, is it a good time to sell or refi? It's all just ahead. It's You Have Real Estate.
Your debt does not have to control your life. You have the power to potentially lower or even eliminate your debt. I'm attorney Justin Clark. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life.
You Have Real Estate is proudly sponsored by Renewal by Andersen, your full-service window and door replacement company. Learn more at rbafla.com.
Welcome to You Have Real Estate, brought to you by Renewal by Andersen. I am your host, Justin Clark. A wonderful show ahead for you today, but first, the opening statement. I get the same questions over and over from you every single week, and they are great questions, and here's what they are right now for you homeowners. It's number one, where do I spend money when it comes to repairing and upgrading my home? Number two, should I sell my home right now? And number three, should I refinance my home right now? Excellent questions that we will answer together today by asking real questions. Every weekend here on the program, we ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Kick it off today with my good friend, Renewal by Andersen, Chelsea Zirpola is here. Hi, Chelsea. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well. You think about when you are going to spend money on your home. Where should that money be spent? A lot of people will say, I will install a pool. Not a great investment, really. You hear people say they're going to upgrade their kitchen. You don't always hear people talk about upgrading their windows, but that can be such an important upgrade and really save the homeowner money going forward. Tell me about what an upgrade of windows can really do to help a homeowner.
There's a lot of different factors that when you're really considering window replacement that you've got to look at. You know, it means a lot to a homeowner from an energy efficiency perspective. We're talking about security and safety, right? And making sure that when those storms start to roll in, like the tornadoes recently, really that you have impact resistant glass, that you're ready for those storms.
Yeah, and I heard that you were just telling me before the show they're already talking about a 10% chance of formation or something right now. It's way too soon.
Way too soon.
Last time I checked, it was March. And in fact, at Renewal by Andersen, and I've heard about this going on, I can't believe you're doing it really, but you have a very good special going on through the end of March. Tell me about it.
Buy one, get one, 40% off. Of course, restrictions apply, but there's never been a better time to get your windows and doors replaced. Get prepared for the seasons ahead.
I agree. So it's safety, but it's also the beautification of your house. You've worked with so many people, from not even knowing if they needed new windows to seeing their face when they pull in the driveway and see those new windows. What really does it do aesthetically for homes?
It's really a refresh when you're looking at the ability to customize the frames. So having a beautiful interior look that could be different than the exterior look really allows that refresh. And you can align it to the design. And I think a lot of people are not only wanting that beauty and decor and safety, but they're wanting to match their design and take that inner designer and talk through that with custom hardware, custom look and feels, and of course, the window style.
That's right. I have the QR code on the screen right now for you to take advantage of this buy one, get one 40% off. It's a really wonderful special. And I think about Renewal by Andersen though too, and don't take this the wrong way, almost think too big to fail. And I tell you all the time that when it comes to hiring contractors, especially in Florida, no matter what it is you're going to have done to your house, you've got to be really careful. We have a lot of fly-by-night contractors here in this state, really nationwide, but especially in Florida. These are big ticket items for people, whether it's your roof, windows, kitchen, whatever it is. You've got to be so careful when you choose your contractor. Renewal by Andersen, that brand continues to blow me away.
It's an amazing brand. I've been around the brand for the last 20 years. And, you know, not only seeing that true emotion of, I love my new windows, it's rare that you have an emotion tied to a renovation. And we hear it every single day from thousands of homeowners that have seen the difference in energy efficiency, design, decor, and look, and curb appeal.
And let's talk about that, because Renewal is a very big brand. You have a lot of buying power, so to speak, which keeps your prices low. But in a year, or really the last 2 years, while interest rates have gone up so much for people who are going to finance their windows, you've been able to keep those rates low. But Chelsea, when you look at what it saves every month in your energy bill, on that electricity bill, sometimes it's free.
It's amazing. There's so many opportunities to not only utilize that, with all of the plans, but realize that you're investing in your home. You're allowing that investment that if you were to sell your home, that transferable warranty goes to the next homeowner.
Yeah.
It's a win-win across the board.
I think also some people, probably like me before I met you, thought, a window's a window. A window's a window. It doesn't matter. It's just if I get a new window, it's a new window instead of having the old window.
Sure.
But a new window is not necessarily, they're not all made equally.
Correct. We have Fibrex. It's 2 times stronger than vinyl. It allows you to have the most expansive glass base, especially if you're in areas that require hurricane impact glass. And it allows you to not have to worry about maintenance. You don't have to paint them. You don't have to worry about, are they going to pit? Are they going to chalk? Are they going to fade? All of those things you no longer have to be concerned about. And I have so many homeowners that call and say, once they did go ahead and install their beautiful new windows, they didn't have to take out those hurricane shutters and be frustrated through that process. They felt confident and secure.
Yeah, and we think about safety, or I think about safety. I have 2 daughters. And yes, when you have a storm roll through, you want sturdy windows. You don't want to hear that shaking and banging.
It's
you
too
don't
scary.
want that. But also, what I found with a lot of these old windows is it's easy for people to break into your house as well. Safety is a top priority when it comes to keeping people out also.
Absolutely. We have a 5-point locking system on our doors and windows that really allow you to feel secure. You're not going to have to worry about, do I have to put the broom in between the door in hopes to not have somebody get in? The 5-point locking system on all of our windows and doors really keep those scary people out.
Yeah, QR code is on the screen again right now. You have through the end of March to take advantage of this really wonderful deal to have someone come out from Renewal by Andersen. And look, if you don't need new windows, they're going to tell you that. Or maybe you want to start the project small and then ultimately do your whole house. But your team, your design consultant team, really does come out and tell me what I need to do with my new windows.
Absolutely. They take you through the entire process. And they really want to listen. What are your concerns? What are some of the needs that you have? And what are some of the wants as well? It's custom made for you, all the way through color, design, choice, and we're really make it a super simple process.
Yeah, you have told me stories about people who, okay, maybe they wanted to do their whole house, but then they decided, you know what, maybe I'll just do the front first and then do the rest later. How does that process work?
Yeah, we have the ability to phase your job, so it allows homeowners to feel really comfortable in being able to do those problem areas first and not feeling like they have to do it all at once. And it's very easy, it's very simple, and then we are measuring the project while we're there, so when you're ready, we have all the measurements ready to go when you tell us it's time to do the second phase.
Yeah, always good to see you, Chelsea. Thank you so much
Great
for
to
coming
see
in.
you,
It's a
Justin.
pleasure working with Renewal by Andersen, and I know what kind of job that they do is because I hear from you. When you call them, the people will call me and thank me for sending them to Renewal by Andersen. That's why I know I'm so proud to work together with you guys.
Thank you.
QR code on the screen to reach out to Renewal by Andersen. Here's what we will do, a very quick break. When we return, Viv is in your neighborhood where today? Lake County, Florida. Eustis, Florida, as you have real estate continues.
Have you been threatened by the IRS? You are not helpless. You have the power to fight wage garnishments and fight levies on your accounts. I'm Justin Clark. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life.
Welcome back to the show. Thanks to Renewal by Andersen. Viv goes to your neighborhood every single week. Today, it is Lake County, the home of Carrie Baker, Anthony Sabatini, Ray Powers. I know so many people in Lake County. Viv, today is in your neighborhood in Eustis, Florida.
I'm in the city of Eustis today, and some consider this the real Florida. It's been nicknamed America's hometown and sits on the shores of Lake Eustis. Settlers came here to this area because they were drawn to fertile lands and water sources. Now it's 12 square miles of outdoor enjoyment, including Ferron Park with Lake Eustis views. The bandshell is home to George Fest, the longest running week-long celebration in the nation of George Washington's birthday. You can definitely get more value in land for your dollar here, and many developers agree based on recent construction. The median household income is about $65,000. The median home value in 2024 was $307,000. Fun fact, Eustis was known as Orange Capital of the World due to the thriving citrus industry. Personally, I've heard this before for other hometowns, but I'll give it to them this time. Discover Marsh Park with its playgrounds and trails. Downtown Eustis is where everyone plays and lives. Charming flower shops, eateries, and breweries keep locals and visitors coming back for more. Take a scenic drive along Lakeshore Drive with its private homes and docks. If you'd like more information on Eustis and what it has to offer, call me, Vivian Lehman, at 407-205-0400.
Thank you, Viv. I love Eustis, by the way. I used to have, my firm had an office in Eustis. We had an insurance company out there. It's great,
It's
right?
a beautiful area.
Hi, welcome to the show, by the way.
Well,
Hi,
thank
Vivian
you.
Lehman's here.
Thank
Dallas
you,
Lehman,
thank you.
guys, how are you?
Great to be back.
So we started the show talking about questions homeowners have, and one of the questions, and an important one, I think, is, should I sell my house? As we sit here today, what does it look like right now to actually sell a home?
I think we're seeing a little bit more inventory on the market. Everybody said, you know, people generalize about inventory, but I would say in Central Florida, we are still a good opportunity because you have so many people coming in. So even though our inventory is rising, it's still selling. So.
How do values look now? If you compare the values of houses right now versus this time last year, what do you think?
I'd say we're looking at about like a 3 to 4% value increase.
Okay. Increase.
Yes.
So it's still going up.
It's still going up.
Unbelievable. Dallas, you're the one that's gotten beat up the last couple years, and you
bit.
don't control the interest rates. We know that, but wow, it's been cyclical. It's been up and down substantially. But people now who have maybe bought a house in the last 2 years and got a pretty high interest rate are thinking about refinancing. What does a refi look like these days?
Well, the good thing is if you look at all the indicators with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all of the national average, the local banks, the local lenders, they say that we're going to be in the sixes for quite some time this year, which really means we are at normal rates. These are the best times, these are the best rates. Now, I can see that pushing maybe closer into the fives maybe after this year, but there's a lot going on with the new administration. There's a lot going on in the market. And to be honest with you, being in the sixes is a great place. This is a great time to buy. As far as refinancing, absolutely refi. And if you don't want to refinance, we can always do a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, which is kind of popular right now too.
Yeah. I always hear people talking about buying down a rate. What does that mean? I think people get confused as to what that really means. What does it mean when you say buy down your rate?
Well, that's a great thing in correspondence to what you just said about refinancing. So if we do the loan and we get to the point of we're ready to lock that loan, and we say, okay, today's rate is 6.5. If you want to buy the rate down, which you can, if you start with one discount point, which is 1% of the loan amount, you can bring that 6-ish% down to maybe into the fives. If you go to 1.5%, you can lower a little bit. So I oftentimes, for every home that I've bought, I've always used discount points because it's a good thing to do. If you take that 1% and divide that over 30 years, you're talking about pennies. So as we sit here today and talk about the sixes, what you just said is we can get into the fives if you use discount points.
Yeah, I think discount points are great. I mean, when you're talking to a home buyer, what do you tell them about discount points?
What I basically say is, it depends on how long you're going to stay in the house. It really is a matter of math. It's like if you're going to buy that discount point and you plan on staying there more than 15 years, it makes sense. If not,
I think it can be a mentally good thing for a homeowner, especially someone who is a W-2 income type employee. They know what they're going to make every year, and they want to know what their payment's going to be, and you can lower that number to something that makes sense for your family financially.
Yeah,
I think it can be mentally awesome for people, actually.
Yes.
Absolutely, very good point.
So let's see what's on the market right now. And Vivian, you actually wrote these down for me because you know I can't read my handwriting. That was very kind of you.
you're very welcome.
Let's start with this house down in Isleworth, a beautiful home. Tell me about Latrobe.
So Latrobe sits right on the golf course, and obviously Isleworth is a guard-gated community. It's beautiful. This home, price per square foot, is probably the cheapest right now in Isleworth, and they have it at $3,499. The house itself is about 6,216 square feet. It's a 5-bedroom, 5.5 with a pool, all travertine flooring, 2-story ceilings. It's
The whole
beautiful.
shebang.
Beautiful.
The whole shebang. And right on the golf course.
Yes.
So beautiful course on there. Now down to Longwood. Is this 32750 or 32779? I've been doing this too long.
Okay, so 32779. It's right off of Markham Woods Road. This house is on an acre, but it's 1.4. It is 4.2 with a 1.1 in-law suite. So bring the mother-in-law, you know, it's that kind of thing. And it's 2,900 square feet. Bring your adult toys because there's no HOA.
Is that right?
That's always a plus.
I love it.
Yeah.
Although you won't be my client when we fight with your HOA because you're not going to have one. So it's all the better for you. If you'd like to see either of these properties, Vivian would be happy to show them to you this weekend. 407-205-0400. Home buyers right now.
Yes.
How are they feeling?
They're feeling better because the rates did drop a little bit, you know, and again, there's more inventory on the market and there's more of a negotiating happening. It's not the seller driving it anymore, so that's always a plus.
Dallas, you work with a lot of home buyers, obviously. You help them find their dream home, but then you have to have that conversation is how much house can I afford? When you're talking to someone who's preparing to buy a house, how does that conversation go?
Well, you know, everybody's individually different. So a lot of this depends on their income, their credit. There's 4 main categories. So with everybody being different, the main thing is we want to get them into a loan that puts them at a comfort level. So when we do a pre-approval for somebody, we look at everything. We look at those 4 categories, but we take them to the max pre-approval. So what their income will support as a max home is one thing. So for example, if I pre-approve somebody to $500,000, the conversation I have is, you can afford to get this purchase price of $500,000, but now you're able to look at any sale price you want within that range for comfort level. And all throughout the loan, if they have a question, they can ask me. If something changes, I'm there to help them throughout the entire process.
Yeah, you do a great job. You really hold their hand through a process that has become, you know, technologically advanced with some places, and they're not really even going to talk to you. You're essentially submitting documents via email and not talking to a human being. It makes a difference when you're talking about your biggest purchase that you're ever going to make.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Awesome. Dallas Lehman, Vivian Lehman, if you want to get pre-approved, no one's going to show you a house until you have that pre-approval letter. Dallas will be happy to do that for you. 407-205-0400. Thank you for being amazing friends.
Thank you. Thank you.
Quick break. When we return, more on where you should spend money when you own a house without wasting that money, as You Have Real Estate continues.
Your debt does not have to control your life. You have the power to potentially lower or even eliminate your debt. I'm attorney Justin Clark. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life.
Welcome back to the show. As promised, we're talking today about where you should spend your money on your house, but you're getting value for that investment. Joined by, I'm sorry, I was going to call you Elisha LeBron because you're both here today. I'm used to saying Elisha Lopez of Callow Realty World, and Melissa LeBron is here. Hi guys, how are you? So you talk to a lot of buyers before they are selling their house, and you tell them kind of what they could do to upgrade their homes. What are some of the things that the buyers can do to increase the value of their home?
Well,
Did I say the buyer?
Sellers.
Dallas told me I wasn't going to have a good day, and he was right.
Yeah, I
Talk
thought it was
about
a trick
that later.
question.
Go
Yes.
ahead. I'm sorry, I screwed up.
So
Which is not the first time. Right.
You're good.
There.
I just thought I missed something. But sellers, landscape always.
Yeah.
You'll never go wrong because first impressions are everything, and actually the exterior, the driveway, the windows, you know, all that when you drive up, like, oh, that first picture. And then of course when you walk in, I mean, fresh paint. It will never hurt anybody. And kitchens, baths, like if you're going to do the kitchen, do the bathrooms too. Don't do one or the other because it's kind of like a teaser.
Yeah.
And
Got it. Melissa, you are a general contractor, so you help people fix up their house and do things to their home all the time. What do you tell people who's thinking about maybe selling their house down the road? Where should they spend their money?
Biggest thing right now is your roof.
Yeah.
Insurance company won't insure you. So I start with the biggest ones, your roof, go down to your AC unit. Water heater is a big thing now.
You were telling me before the show that some insurance companies are not writing policies for water heater issues.
Correct. Anything now is 15 years. Anything
Really?
over 15 years, they want it to be replaced.
Huh. Have you seen a water heater really kind of kill a real estate deal?
I never let a water heater
No?
kill a deal. Yeah, we're gonna get a new. They're not expensive.
Yeah.
So if that's gonna make or break a deal, we're making a deal.
You know, in fact, I don't have hot water at my house right now. Well, I do in one bathroom, so I need a water heater myself. It seems like someone came over to fix it. Actually, that one wasn't broken. The other one was broken. They fixed that one, but broke the other one. So it appears I would be in the market for a water heater. What does a water heater cost? I don't even know.
Installation and everything, you're probably looking around roughly about $600 or so.
Really? So way better than an AC unit, though. That's for sure.
Oh yeah,
huh?
AC unit, you're talking about thousands. You're not talking about thousands in a water heater.
Yeah. What other projects have you worked on?
Roofing.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to redo their kitchen. They want to upgrade. You know, you want to get more of what you paid for, so you want to upgrade.
Yeah. You guys work together on a lot of properties, obviously. She's your trusted ally. How important is that to you to have a GC that you trust to help your clients through that process?
Most important, because it's the hardest thing, finding people that you can trust, because your people trust you, so it's an extension of you. Yeah.
The roof, while a water heater you're not going to let kill a deal, obviously, a roof absolutely does oftentimes kill deals. And it's not even necessarily the roof, it's that the buyer can't get insurance and their mortgage won't lend to them if they don't have insurance. So you're almost at the closing table and someone finds out the roof is super old or has some issues. Deal done. You've seen that happen.
Yeah, well, yes, if it's a deal that's not with us.
Right, of course.
Because most roofing companies are not going to put a new roof on and then get paid out of closing. And so that's something that we do as a team, because we know the way each other work.
Time out. Tell me this again.
Yeah.
I need to hear this.
So, example, we have a deal going on right now that the roof, 14 years old, a metal roof, it looked great, but it was never permitted. So we could not close, we couldn't get insurance. And we were able to negotiate with the buyer. Basically, they did full price. And then the seller said, yes, I'll do the roof, but he didn't have the money to pay for the roof. So we have a clear to close, except for that one condition of the roof. Roof's getting put on, and then her company gets paid from the proceeds on the closing table. But you can't do that with everybody.
Most people don't do that. That's really awesome that you do. And a lot of times the seller might not have the money sitting around to pay for that up front. They're actually selling their house because they need that money for something else. So you taking your payment at closing, it can be huge for sellers.
It alleviates the upfront costs, and also dealing with a team that they know what they're doing. It also saves, because a lot of people don't know that the buyer has to get an appraisal. Well, we work with them to make sure that we get the roof done before the appraisal goes out.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. How's the market in Marion County right now?
Fabulous.
Yeah?
Yes, it is.
Still going up, but still lower than here?
Not really going up. It's pretty stable, but it's so affordable.
Yeah.
It's almost 50%. You know, every time I'm going to be here, I always checking the numbers, and we're teeter-tottering that 50% less when you compare apples to apples between Marion and Orange. Yeah.
It can be all the difference in you being able to afford a house to buy for your family versus staying in an apartment, a two-bedroom apartment, which are very expensive here in Central Florida. Ocala Realty World, Elisha will be happy to show you what's on the market right now, what you can afford. QR code on the screen, and she'll send you listings as they come up, whether you're investing or want to buy something for your family. It's a great place to invest also. And then maybe I invest in something that needs a little work. What do we have here?
Yes.
Right? We work together on those things. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
What are some normal upgrades you do for an investor who wants to fix up a house?
Usually when an investor comes to us, Elisha has an investor, she calls me, then I go to the property because the investor wants to know how much I could rent it for. So we go and do an evaluation of what needs to be done. He could just be like, I need it to be livable so we could get it rented. Flooring, painting, changing the lighting. You want to go with saving LED.
LED makes a difference, huh?
Oh yeah. And as an investor, you want it to look beautiful and be aesthetic, so the buyer or tenant's like, ooh.
Without spending a ton of dough. So it's little things like that can make a big difference. Melissa, Elisha, thank you guys so much. Great job as always. Thanks to our amazing team and to our guest today. Most importantly, thank you. See you again next week for more You Have Real Estate.
I'm attorney Justin Clark. If you're in debt and find yourself living paycheck to paycheck, call me now or visit youhavepower.com today.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.